Hello and welcome to another episode of Riganalysis 101. I'm Chris Eli. I'm going to take you through an analysis of differential pressure. We're going to start off with two EDR files. One is well A versus well B. And the intention is that we're going to make a chart that looks like this, similar to this, where we analyze the EDR data from two offset wells. And in this comparison, we're going to be looking at differential pressure versus depth. In this case, measure depth. And we're going to be measuring differential pressure against one another just to compare the two wells side by side, apples to apples. So what you need is you need two data files that are downloaded from EDR, WITS-ML data. This would be the sensors on the rig, which include hook load, hole depth. And this one, we're going to use hole depth, and we're going to use bit weight, ROP, RPM, and differential just for some filtering and sorting. So what you'll want to do is download your files, keep them in a folder, and you'll want to keep them and label them so that you know well A from well B. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our data here, and we're going to start with well A, and we're going to do some sorting and filtering. So first off, what we want to do is we want to look at on-bottom drilling comparisons. So for this comparison, I want to make sure that pump rate is, the pumps are on. I know from the well that this is a 6-inch, 6 3/4 inch well bore. So they were flowing anywhere from 200 to 350 gallons. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. So we're going to go from 200 to 350 gallons. Apply that filter. And then we're going to place our RPM because we want just rotating RPM on bottom for this comparison. We're going to do a greater than 50 RPM. Now we're going to set our differential. You'll see here there's some inconsistent data in here of negatives. We want to do greater than, well, for this one, we'll do a differential between, and we'll do it between 0 and 2000, just for average comparisons here. And then in the bit weight, we're going to apply a filter of greater than 0. So now we have our filtered data in. We're on bottom, and then we're going to set our hole depth. Most important is from smallest to largest. So now that we have that sorted, we have to sort our well B the same, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our chart here, XYY chart of So we're going to go ahead and select hole depth first, and then we're going to select our differential pressure, and then we're going to go ahead and create our chart. So what you see here is a nice depiction of the differential pressure over depth, cross depth. And what we want to do here is to make the chart a little bit more visible. We want to go ahead and create a scatter plot under options, and then we want to change our symbol size, go with a little smaller symbol size. This creates a nice view of the data points that were collected in here. And then we're gonna do a moving average of the differential curve, and we're gonna place it every thousand counts. So the interval's at 1,000. We're gonna rename this. We'll rename this differential pressure. Well, A, and that's going to differentiate us. And we're going to change this color of this chart to blue. So now we have a nice chart graph here of the differential pressure. And we're going to start to save this. Now what we'll want to do is we'll want to save this as, we can save this as differential pressure well A in this graph. We'll save this as a file here. We'll replace it, and then we'll be able to append to that later. So let's go to B. Go to B, and we'll have to filter B, the data in the well B, the same way we filtered the data in well A. So we'll apply the same filters. So in this case, we want to go to total pump output and apply the same filter of between. And both these hole sizes were 6 3/4. So we're going to do 200 to 350. We're going to apply weight on bit of greater than 0. We're going to set our rotary RPM to greater than 50. You'll need to check sometimes 50 is not enough. Sometimes 50 is too much, depending on the oscillating speed that they use. The RPMs can be tricky and actually interpolate. You could be interpolating slide data, and you not want that. So now that we have our filters set, we're going to go ahead and do our same between filter on our differential from 0 to 2000. Same as before. Last but not least, we want to filter the data from smallest to largest. Take the measured depth in the differential, and we're going to plot these out. So again, we have a similar plot to the one before. We want to go to options. We want to set this as a scatter plot. We're going to change the colors on this one just to differentiate to orange. And we want to set this symbol size to the same symbol size as the other. So we're going to choose this. Makes a nice graph there. Go ahead and generate your moving average. Curve 1, moving average, same moving average. And we'll go ahead and make this color. Let's give it a red color. So here we go, moving average differential. I'm going to go ahead and reset this. Well B. And now we have well B pretty much the same as well A. So what we're going to do now is go to File. We're going to append. We're going to append the dplot file of the well A differential pressure. And we're going to put it in there. And boom, there we go. So we have differential pressure of well A, well B. And we can see here from the chart, we can look at different versions of it by dragging and dropping arrows. But here we've got a good representation of apples to apples, differential pressure. And of course, if you want to change your text, as we've done in the past, text, choose titles and axes. We can do sample well analysis, and we'll call this one diff pressure, and we'll do well a versus well B. And now we've got a nice chart that we can send to a client. We can send to a team, get everybody on the same page. You can save this file. Again, you can use the copy picture and paste it into any media, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, whatever you like.